Okay, let's move to this new example here. So first thing is we're going to get everything to the left-hand side. So 6 over x minus 1 minus 6 over x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. So we're still comparing to 0. We're going to need a least common denominator for the left-hand side. I'm going to need an x minus 1. I'm going to need an x. And that's all, because the 1 has just 1 in the denominator. So 6 over x minus 1, I'm going to need an x, so I have to do x over x, minus 6 over x, so I'm going to need x minus 1 over x minus 1, and then minus 1, which is just going to need both x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. All right, so now I'm going to put all of this over the x times x minus 1. So from the first, I'm going to get a 6x, and then remember I'm going to distribute, but be careful, there's a negative sign in front. So I'm going to get minus 6x, and then I'm going to get plus 6. All right, then again, I'm going to distribute over here. So the minus x times x is going to give me minus x squared, and the minus x times minus 1 is going to give me plus x, all greater than or equal to 0. All right, simplifying that numerator, the 6x's go away. So I have negative x squared plus x plus 6 over x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. All right, that numerator, I'm going to take out a negative because I don't like that. Oops, back up. X squared minus x minus 6 over x times x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. And then I'll keep factoring. So we get minus. So I have to factor that numerator. That's going to be x. That's going to be 2 and 3. But I have different signs, and I need them to come out more negative. So I'm going to have a negative on the 3 and a positive on the 2. All right, so there I have my left side all factored, one fraction. Now I'm going to make note that the numerator is 0 when x is negative 2 and when x is 3. The denominator is 0 when x equals 0 and when x equals 1. So those are going to be important breakpoints here. All right. So let me just divide the page now. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start my number line. And now I have to put all 4 of those numbers. I have to put negative 2, 3, 0, and 1 on the graph. So I'm going to put negative 2, 0, 1, and 3. All right. So those are going to be my breakpoints. Okay. So I need to have some points outside of those. So over here, let me put in negative 3, negative 1, 1/2, and 2. Oh, I'll also need something on the other side here. Let me put a 4 in there. All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regions to calculate. So for each of these regions, I'm just going to go back here and use this factored expression and figure out whether it's positive or negative. Now realize I have a negative in front, so there's always a negative first. Then if I put negative 3 into x plus 2, I'll get a negative. If I put negative 3 into x minus 3, I'll get a negative. If I put negative 3 into x, I'll get a negative. And if I put negative 3 into x minus 1, I'll get a negative. So overall, with 5 negatives, I will end up with a negative. All right. So then I go ahead and I put negative 1 in the next one. And so I would have the negative that's there. I would have a positive, a negative, and another negative. So overall there, I'm going to get positive. If I put the 1/2 in, I'm going to have a negative from the negative that's already there. I'm going to have a positive, a negative, a positive, and a negative. So that's going to leave me with a negative. And putting 2 in, I get negative, positive, negative, over positive, positive. So I get a positive there. And finally, if I put 4 in, I get negative. That's already there. I get positive, 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 positive. So I get an overall negative. All right. So we just about have it now because I have to look. Let me go back. What did I want? I wanted greater than or equal to 0. So I want positive or 0. Now remember, I didn't cross them out originally, but I can't take 0 or 1 because those are numbers that make the denominator 0. Okay, so I want the positive regions there, and then the places where the fraction is 0, which was negative 2 and 3. So now I can put together my solution. So what I'm going to do is, now these are 2 separate intervals here. So the first one starts at negative 2 less than or equal to x less than 0. Or the next one is 1, but not including it. So 1 less than x less than or equal to 3. And that was inequality version. Interval version then would be negative 2 to 0, including negative 2, not including 0, union, open 1, closed 3. All right, and graph-wise, let's see, let's go negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, negative 2, closed, 0, open, everything in between. 1, open, 3, closed, everything in between. So like that, or like that. And that's done. So there's rational inequalities.